Hey, how's it going out there, folks? The Philosopher's Stone, back at you with another video. So, have any of you guys seen that movie Click with Adam Sandler? It's an older movie. I don't know when it came out, at least 10 years ago, anyway. But I don't really watch movies at all. It's hard for me to sit through a movie because it's just programming, as far as I'm concerned, in one way or another, right? But this movie was actually pretty good. And I watch a lot of YouTube, and it popped up in my feed as a free movie. So I rewatched it. I think I may have watched this movie 3 or 4 times. Actually, it's one of those movies that has a deeper meaning towards life. And this is what I'm always searching for, that deeper meaning in life, right? And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out, man. It's actually a pretty good movie. And the movie basically is Adam Sandler. He's got a family. He works for a corporate company. David Hasselhoff is in it as well. And he's trying to get, to be the partner with David Hasselhoff in this corporate firm. And so anyways, he's, can never find the right remote for the TV, right? He picks up one remote and turns on the ceiling fan, picks up the other remote, it opens the garage door, he picks up another remote, and then like it's some freaking remote to some AC toy that one of his kids have, and he's like, man, kids like, the friend next door has got a universal remote. It controls everything, right? So anyways, he's like, yeah, I got to get one. So he goes off and he's looking for this universal remote. Well, everything is closed. He comes to Bed Bath and Beyond, right? So he goes in and he's like, do you have a universal TV remote? To the guy that's working there, the sales kid, right? And he's like, no, we don't sell those things, right? It's just a bed and bath store. So he's like, all right. So he just walks off and he's tired and he sees a bed there and he falls asleep in the bed, right? So now he's in a dream, apparently, but nobody knows this until the end of the movie. So, he wakes up and he looks and he sees beyond, right, this door. So he goes into the door and somebody's, working there. He's got all the friggin' electronic getup, sort of something like you'd see in Back to the Future, right? And he's like, I'm looking for a universal TV remote. So the guy gives him the remote and he's like, you have to be very careful with this remote. This remote is going to control your universe, right? So anyways, he takes the remote. Now he can work the TV and everything and whatnot, right? So anyways, he's working on a project for his work. He's trying to, I guess he was some sort of architect or whatever. He was building he had different plans for building these structures and whatever the case may be, right? Now the dog is barking, right? And he's stressed out and it's like, dog's barking to go outside and he's like, stop barking. And he hits the remote and he puts the volume down and the dog, all of a sudden, you can't hear the dog barking anymore. So he's like, what's going on here, right? So he hits volume up, dog starts barking again, hits volume down, and the dog stops barking. And he's like, oh, wow, okay. So he lets the dog out to do his business, and he's like, come on, let's go. I got work to do here. Come on, like the dog is kind of sniffing around, and he's like, hurry up and do your business. And he hits fast forward, and the dog kind of goes, does his business, comes in, and falls asleep. Right? And he's like, oh, wow, this is kind of cool. So this is where the movie sort of gets interesting. And now he's all of a sudden got this remote that can control everything. Next door neighbor comes over and she's, one of these neighbors, this chick with big boobs. And she's like going off about how she can't find a relationship. And of course, Adam Sandler makes a couple of remarks about, you had a couple of great relationships, only you end up sleeping with the brothers and whatever it was. So she freaks out, she starts yelling at him, and then he turns her volume down, and now he realizes that he's got control of his world through this remote, right? So anyway, to make a long story short, he's going through the spiel of fast forwarding things, pausing things. He can go back in time, he can look at memories, and he can fast forward through arguments, and he fast forwards through freaking things that he really doesn't want to participate in, right? Like, the family dinner and having the folks come over and this and that, whatever. He was fast forwarding through all his stuff, right? Fast forwarding through arguments, fast forwarding through everything. So anyways, realizes the remote is programming itself now through whatever he's doing, and now it's fast forwarding through his life without him even doing anything. And it becomes really interesting, man. It really, really does. I mean, it's a cool movie. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. I know it's been out for a while, but it's basically, the deeper meaning to that movie is just appreciate what you have and appreciate the moments that are good and the moments that are bad, and the arguments that you get into, and the kids growing up, and just taking life as it comes rather than trying to just go on autopilot through your life and fast forward through the things that you don't want to freaking necessarily experience. And like, life is put together a certain way that you're not supposed to overlook really any moments of this life. It's just an experience that has to have, you need to have these experiences regardless, right? Like, I mean, it was like going on autopilot, and just numbing yourself out to the reality that, that you created or you're creating, right? And yeah, it's actually kind of cool, man. So I guess that's kind of a review on a movie. I didn't really know what to do a video on today. But it ends with him missing freaking most of his kid's life growing up, and he doesn't realize, because he's on autopilot every time he fast forwards through a moment of his life. He's just basically on autopilot. He doesn't remember it, and the wife leaves him, and the kids are all growing up, and he's trying to get to be this partner with this firm that he's with, and he fast forwards to the part where he gets the friggin' promotion, and he thought it was only going to be a couple of months, but it turned out to be a year. So he fast forward through a whole entire year, and he missed out on all his stuff in his life. And man, it's actually really cool. Really, I mean, I recommend you check it out. So with that being said, something a little different. So take it easy.